Hi, everybody. It's Mackenzie, and I wanted to do a little kind of update, but also a vlog about being a stay-at-home mom and why I have decided very recently to be a stay-at-home mom again. So, for those who don't know, I was a stay-at-home mom previously. From the time Evelyn was born, I stayed home with her until she was 19 months old and Josiah was 4 months old. And then that is when I got my job that I just recently quit, and I went back to work full time, working 40 to 45 hours a week. And the job was as an assistant director, and I did it at a child care center, and I did it, and I really liked it a lot for a long while, but it was far away, and I was okay with that because I was like, oh, I love my boss, and I just like the center, and we'd really built it up, like things were getting good, and I felt like it was just great, and then a few months back, Steven and I, we were getting very upset and stressed out with everything that comes with me working, which is being gone all the time and not seeing each other, and our diets going out the window, and our house being a wreck, and being exhausted, and the kids being exhausted, and their schedules being messed up, and just the lack of organization that there was at my job and at my house, and just everything. We decided, it wasn't really worth it. So, uh, I was going to quit, and I did quit. I actually gave my 2 weeks back in December. I was working 5 days a week, and it was a 45-minute to an hour and a half, depending on the day, drive there, plus that just as long back. And I was taking long breaks in the middle of the day. Who knows? Like some days I'd get no break at all. Some days I'd have to take a 2-hour break. And so, needless to say, I was working 5 days, and what the plan was for me to work early and be home in time to get stuff done at the house before dinner and such, ended up being me being gone from as soon as we woke up until bedtime every single day. So I put in my notice and decided to quit, and my boss talked me into staying as a teacher and said that I could go to 3 days a week. So I stayed for a little while and did that, hoping that things would get better, but it didn't. I was working 12-hour days, and then very recently they started just like telling me randomly to work extra days, and needless to say, things did not get better. It actually got like 100 times worse. So, and also once I did step down and decide to do that, the lack of respect and caring, and just all kinds of mistreatment of myself and other staff that was going on, um, it just, it wasn't good. So I put in my 2 week notice, and when I did, they still wanted me to stay, and she was talking to me about staying, and I said, I would stay if I for sure, like, definitely was only working 3 days. I would stay a little longer, but I'm just not willing to work all the time. Like, my kids is where my heart is, and while the money is nice, money is not everything. And we've made it on one income our entire lives, even since we were dating. Even when I worked, we always have made it on one income. We just save the second income or whatever. So that's why in like week and a half ago, I said I was probably going to be a stay-at-home mom soon, was because I was still trying to work out the details on if it was going to be soon, like for sure my 2 weeks, or if I was going to stay a couple more months. But it worked out, and I am now a stay-at-home mom as of yesterday. Yesterday was my last day at work, and just our feelings have so changed on this. I feel like I had to go back to work for myself to know that I could, to know that I could work and be a mom and I could do this um and because we had just recently moved to this area and I didn't have friends or family, so I just wanted to be able to work and get out of the house and do stuff like that. And I did, and it served its purpose, and it was good for a while, but it's just not the best. So I want the best for my family and other people's families. The best is different for them. And some people know from the get-go what the best is for their family. And some people are like me and they have to try a few things out first before they decide. And you know what? Whatever journey it takes you to figure out what is going to be right for your family, that's how it is. Well, so I just wanted to kind of discuss all the reasons that Stephen and I decided it was best for us to stay home. So, like I said, the job I had, it was stressful, it was not treating me right, and it was far away. Um, my gas and childcare alone made up about 35% of my income that I was paying back in, and that doesn't include other expenses like wear and tear on the vehicle and eating out more and like damaged clothes from my kids because they would go to daycare and stuff would just get sent back ruined or missing. So yeah, that kind of stuff, it just adds up. And 35% isn't a whole lot. I know people who pay a lot more than that in daycare and gas, but for me, it was just like, you break it all down, and I was making like maybe well, maybe like $7 an hour after everything else came out, and it just, that's not very much for all the time away, and that doesn't even count like the hours spent driving. Like there was a few nights that it took me an hour and 45 minutes to get home, and that's ridiculous. There's no reason for that. I mean, who wants to spend their life driving? Probably somebody out there does, but I am not one of them. So anyways, that was just the problems with this job alone. There's issues that come from working no matter what you're doing. And it's like, that was just stuff that I was not okay with anymore. It was worth it at first, but now. And we were able to do a lot with the money that we got while I was working, and I'm glad that we did for a while. But like I said, it was good for a season, and now that season has passed. So the other things that made us come to the decision was just the lack of time. No time for housework, no time for myself, no time to see any friends, no time with my husband or kids, and the time we do have is stressed out and not enjoyable. And like I want to see my family, and when I did, I have to ask off, and I didn't have vacation or anything like that, so it was just like unpaid time, but they still wanted me to pay for the childcare whether my kids came or not, and stuff like that. And just the stress, even at home, I was worried about stuff at work because I am somebody who, when I do have a job, I put like everything into it, and I am a good worker and I do a good job, and I worry about it. And I worry, especially in childcare, I worry about the kids, I worry about the families, I worry about the other teachers. I want everyone to do their best. That's why I do great in management. So even like, at home, I would be thinking about everything from work, and it just wasn't good. Even if I had time where I didn't have to do anything else but just enjoy my kids, I couldn't because my mind was still focused on the wrong things. So the quality of life was basically just out the window. Our diet was awful. Like I would go work a 12-hour day, eat nothing all day long, and then come home and eat either fast food or eat junk like snack food, or I would be like, I just worked 12 hours and drove 2 during the day, so I've been out of my house for 14 hours, and to be honest, I don't feel like feeding myself. I just want to go to bed, and I wouldn't eat at all. I would go days without eating, which might be a factor of why I've lost weight in this pregnancy. So, and that's the other thing. I am pregnant, And that kind of stress and that kind of lifestyle is just not good for baby number 3. It's just not. So those are just some of our reasons of why we just really felt it was time to quit, and we just want to get back to a simpler lifestyle. And it's going to be an adjustment, because it always is. No matter what we choose to do, any kind of change is an adjustment. And there's issues of how we're going to schedule things and how much Steven's going to help with stuff, and budgeting and everything else. But we've done it before, we can do it again. We'll be fine, and I know we'll be fine. So my plans now that I'm going to be home, is just to rebudget everything, make sure that we're definitely going to be good. If not, because Steven makes more in the summer than he does in the winter, so there might be some saving back during certain parts of the year for the bad parts of the year, or just really trying to make it on the least amount and see if we can do it that way. I'm going to be making a schedule for the kids. I'd like to get on a schedule of every single day. I want to plan activities for certain days of the week. I want to start homeschooling Evelyn. I think I'm going to put her in pre-kindergarten this school year in August. So she will be she'll still be 2, but she'll turn 3 in October when she's doing her pre-kindergarten, and then I'll start her in kindergarten the next year. Gardening, we're starting a garden. We're actually getting that ready this weekend, and I'm going to start it at home. I gardened my whole life. I want to start back, so we're going to do that. And just other things like couponing and making our cleaners and stuff like that. There's so many things that you can do and save money, and it's good for the kids to learn that stuff, and it's good, and I can raise my children the way I want to and instill those values, and it's just stuff that you don't think about until you can't do it anymore, and I'm ready to do it again. It's been hard for me to let go of the control of being independent and having a job and working it and that kind of stuff, but my family is number one. My kids have always been where my heart is, and this is what we've decided. So maybe if anybody wants to tell their stories on what made them decide to be a stay-at-home mom or to not be a stay-at-home mom anymore, if they did it for a while and decided against it, leave your comments below. I'd love to hear your stories, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.